Hello, viewers. So, here I am in the basement. We're going to paint the back wall with the Rust-Oleum paint that is allegedly for concrete. We did the fan area like that earlier in the year. Difference there is I tried to use 1 gallon to stretch for the whole fan area, and I'm paying for it now because I can see some of the previous paint coming up behind it, and that's not good. Really, what you see before you is Christmas loosely stacked all kind of all over the place. And once I get this painted, I'm going to throw down a couple of pallets that I have and then just stack the area. So, or stack the Christmas stuff on the pallets. Ultimately, I'm going to do shelves, but I want to see how this all lays out first. Also, and the pallets are free. Also, the other thing to point out is, and I'm just starting to work while I talk. Also, the other thing to point out is, here's the paint. That well, while the pallets are free, shelving costs money, and I kind of wanted to see what I needed to do first before, what I needed first before I kind of just went out and bought shelves. Plus, a friend generously offered up some shelves from his house, and of course I just saw them this weekend and neglected to get them. I kind of forgot. We were getting crazy about some other things. So the product I use, Rust-Oleum concrete and garage, floor paint and primer. I mean, that's obviously concrete. And so we're gonna see how this works. And I'm hoping I shouldn't say we're going to see how this works, because I know how it works, but I'm more so curious about how it's going to spread, because I talked about, I didn't have quite enough paint to finish the other job, but I wanted to get it done, so I did a no-no and stretched the paint. All right. Okay. So this stuff is actually pretty easy to apply. Got my painter stick over here. We're going to stir it. It is super quiet down here. Well, I was going to say that, and the boiler is going to turn on. But it's has been raining for the last 24 hours, really heavy. We got about 1 inch of rain, and despite my gutter modifications as a temporary fix, still got some water down here. Thankfully, back here we don't. I haven't seen it come in here since I've been here. But I had box fans going and everything once again. I'm starting to learn that I'm starting to learn, as learn a house, right? Well, one, I'm going to fix that situation outside, so it's really the grading, and I've talked about it ad nauseum in other videos, but as is, you start to learn the threshold of when it starts letting in water, right? So I saw in the forecast, I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before, that we're supposed to get 1 inch of rain today, which we certainly did. It was pouring this morning when I got up, and up until the early afternoon. And with that being said, here we go. That being said, I knew for sure we would probably get water in this basement, just because the ground was kind of muddy to begin with, just because of the leftover of the more than 2 feet of snow that melted off. All right, so I'm gonna put some in my tray here. This stuff, I'll bring it over to I'm going to start it, I already got it on my hands, of course. I'm going to start it over here. I hope you can still see me. So the other thing to point out to you guys is I just recently, I bought a GoPro for myself for Christmas of 2024. I literally set it up. I brought it to New Jersey with me because we go down during the holidays. And I literally literally set it up in the hotel room while we were hanging out, and we had like a 30-second video of just a test video in the hotel room, and didn't bring it back out again until last week, which in this case would have been March 2026. I've been using my phone. One thing I hate about this is it splatters. I've been using my iPhone with various different microphones up until just a few months ago. As of this recording in March, I finally dialed in the right combination of microphone, and it's really the one that everybody uses, the DJI, and even then, there's been some videos, and this is Lamont. I don't know if you watched these style videos. I know you watch all the fan videos, but there's been cases where there's no audio, even using those microphones, and the visual display on the unit that plugs into the camera or the phone, shows this, the little meter is moving. So that's kind of like what I went by. Well, it seems to me what's happening is, and this is trial and error, and I lost some really good content because there was no audio and there's just nothing I can do. I was so upset. I probably lost a good 5-6 hours across multiple videos that were actually really entertaining videos. Yes, more entertaining than usual, because I had a couple partners in my video, and we weren't here. We were somewhere else. Thankfully, this other person was recording too, so they're on their channel, and I get to, for my purposes, get to enjoy that content later on, and thankfully you guys get to see it. But what I learned is, and this is for anyone who's considering, oh, daddy long legs, if anyone's considering getting a channel, and I know a few of you have, and I don't know if you're watching this video per se, but one, yeah, you should always, of course, test your audio, but usually the visual on those visuals that show you that the sound is coming through is like good enough, right? And for me, what was happening is my phone, I learned my phone wasn't recognizing the device that was plugged into it when I had the camera open. Like it was like, for some reason, it was like, oh, an app is open. I don't know what to do. But while my phone was on the home screen, if I plugged in the device, it would then suddenly show me something's plugged into it. And with some tests, some like little test videos I did, that seemed to correct it. So it's kind of an idiosyncrasy, if you will, or a flaw, a bug. Now, I'm also using an iPhone 13 that it's about to be 5 years old. Is it? Something like that. Oops, got some paint on the floor. Oh well. It's the basement. There's like, actually, it's insane over here where I'm working, and I know, I apologize, you can't see me, but what's ridiculous is this basement floor looks like it was painted green at one point, because the steps are green, and then that chipped off, and there's like a mix of like chipped paint and green, like, and they, looks like at some point then they tried this yellow color that you see on the wall. So there's like multiple colors. So the other thing I just want to tell you I'm battling over here is lack of light. I would never paint upstairs in this dark, but the light overhead over here is busted, and I have to replace it. And the thing is, like, I am not talented enough with electricity where I would trust myself to leave the circuit on while replacing the, safety last, while replacing the light fixture. So I got to think about cutting the breaker, which is, I know the proper way to do it, but like, and then I have to take an extension cord because I only have one physical outlet down here. Actually, I wonder if that's connected to the lights. That would be an interesting test. Stupid bugs. What is that? Oh, that's a piece of charcoal. I gotta vacuum these windowsills again. I'll probably do that before I put all this stuff in, put all this stuff away. But so if that electrical, regardless, I have to run a drop light or a flashlight while I work, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet, but I will. You know, I was just having this conversation with a friend that, so I have sensitive eyes, right? And when it's just me, like lurking around the house, I pretty much keep the lights down low or off. Now, if I'm reading something, I need lights because I wear glasses, but I don't necessarily need glasses while I read, but I do need them. But I do need light. You know, some people can like read in the pretty much dark. When I was a little kid, I don't know if it's a wise tale. My parents used to say that's bad for your eyes. You're gonna burn out your beams, as they would say. So I have to wear glasses and for certain things. But when I'm working on projects like this, you know, I do really appreciate the light. And as I work towards the left over there, there will be more light. The other thing that's kind of been the pain with this house is, and it's not the house's fault, is at one time they had, like everybody else, they had traditional cable TV. And then I think at some point they said, let's get direct TV. There's one DirecTV, you know, they come out and they put those dishes on your house. Those technicians come out and they just recklessly start drilling holes and running their cables. And so I have the remnants of, I'm guessing it was Comcast and DirecTV, like coaxial cables, like everywhere that I've been like pulling out. But then when I pull them out, like I pulled one out in my bedroom closet, and I realized, oh no, I cut it, and then I was pushing it back through the hole. And then I went out and it stopped. Then randomly, like the next day, I went outside and I just happened to look up and I see this like loop sticking out of the side of the house, and I realized what I had done. I was pushing it back outside. And I was actually glad it didn't go all the way through, because I would have a little tiny hole to the outside of my closet. That's great for bats. The reason I bring that up is because there's a coaxial just like cut off, just like here dead. Projects like this, I do miss Eddie. Well, I miss Eddie in general, and not because of the work per se, but he's kind of like my ride or die partner. You know, he's 14 years old, and you know, I look to him for some things, you know, like I'll say, hey, what do you think about our attempt to do this or our attempt to do that, you know, and or a project, like what's your take on how we should approach this? And he's quiet. You guys have seen him on camera. He'll say to me off camera that like he always asks me like, what videos are we gonna do this weekend? What videos are we gonna do? And when I get him on in front of the camera, he's pretty quiet. And he gets that from me, because I initially was, in my life I was like that, but I think I talked about that in some other random off-topic video. But what I'm saying is, you know, I'd like to get him to chat a little more on camera, because he does, off camera, he does have, I want to say he's a chatterbox, but he definitely has interesting things to say, and has good insights. You know, sometimes, you know, we'll say to him, you know, what will be cool is like 20 years from now, 30 years, whatever the case may be. I mean, there'll be hundreds, if not thousands of hours of us like doing all this stuff. And it's kind of cool because no matter where we are in life, then, you know, there'll be a video archive and like, you know, kind of a record, if you will, of everything we've kind of done. And I said to them, like, hey, like that's stuff that you can share with your kids, you know, and, or it'll be cool to go back and watch and be like, what were we thinking in this project? Like, that was stupid. So normally when I paint, or roll, I should say, I roll up and down in one direction, and you probably see me rolling side to side. There's just so many imperfections in this wall, and I'm trying to go slow, and I'm trying to go thick, because while this claims that you only need one coat, I'm really trying to, as they say, lay it on thick. That wooden door, I thought about just hitting it with this stuff, just grabbing a paintbrush. But I'm going to repaint the wooden stairs coming down here, probably last, and I'm going to paint them gray. And I'll just use the same paint for that as the door, and I'll get specific actual paint for that. This stuff is not cheap either. I think it was like 50 bucks a gallon. You know, and it's the basement, and you could be like, oh, what are you doing? Just like leave the walls as is. Well, if these walls didn't have, like I said, the lift thing is fine, doesn't bother me. If it didn't have all these different weird colors, and I have no idea why they did 2 different colors, even if it was all just this color, this peach color, no problem. I would have left it. But they didn't, and therefore I'm changing it. And so many of you guys have commented on the fan area, like especially the before and after, and I really appreciate it. And I think it's true. Like this basement looked like just a neglected. It smelled like so damp, and there was cobwebs galore, everything, and I don't think Eddie and I videoed it, but last Father's Day in 2025, we spent the whole day, section by section, sweeping, vacuuming, getting the cobwebs out of the ceiling and the walls, and we probably should have worn masks. It was so dusty, and we really cleaned it up. And you know, the thing I'm grateful for is the insulation in here is in really good shape. The old house I came from, when we moved in, yeah, it was fine, but like just over time now, it's like pieces have fallen down. That seeing this really makes me think like, oh, that insulation needs to come down and get replaced, which is not a fun project. I would be tempted to hire somebody for that, because I just don't like dealing with what you may find underneath there. So getting back to the GoPro, so one of the things I was finding, this is for, I should really do a talking head video to talk about this stuff, and so Lord knows I've watched enough of them myself. So here's another reason for the GoPro, right? Like I was interested in doing some more vlog style videos, and maybe because I log quite a bit of miles each week, and you know, I thought about, you know, bringing you with me to go for a run. Not that I would do that every time, but just for fun, do it at least once, and you know. More vlog stuff, and then to support some of the projects I'm doing, it would just make sense to have a GoPro. And then the other thing too is, you know, the neat thing with getting started with the YouTube channel, I swear I should do another video just on this stuff, now that I feel somewhat educated, is you can start with just your phone, right? Like I did, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and I watched so many channels, and so I've talked about who my inspirations are and were, and I'm very fortunate that some of my inspirations for this channel I've become pretty good friends with. It's kind of neat, and they don't see you as a threat. They see you as someone, hey, they want to encourage to to pursue it and kind of like teach you and guide you, give you advice. It's awesome. And so I kind of want to pass that on. But anyway, what I'm saying is you can start with your iPhone, your whatever phone, and learning from experience, and others who are experienced will say this all day long. Audio is everything, and if you don't have decent audio but you have really good video, you're dead. Like no one's gonna really, they can't hear you. And I had that problem, and I'm speaking from experience. And thankfully, I've had some really good. Yeah, there's all those weird wires. Thankfully, I've had some good advice from people, and not people who just were jerks about it. Give me not only say, hey, your audio is not really good, but they've said things like, here's what I recommend that you do. Those are good people. Like, those are people who are looking out for one another. So I kind of want to help others as well. One, if you're thinking about a YouTube channel, do it. Even if you make one video and never do it again, you can't mess up. You cannot mess up. You only can learn, and it's a hobby, right? It's not like a job, where like if you mess up or you quit your job. It's a hobby, and from an equipment standpoint, you can use your phone. And maybe the first video or two, yes, you use the onboard audio, because to get decent microphones, you're talking about $300. That's what I bought ultimately, and maybe do a couple videos where you're in proximity to your phone, because the second you kind of get away from it, the audio goes. And I would say, pick a topic that you like, maybe in your mind, make a 10-15 minute video. And I'm telling you, when you're on camera, the time flies by. There's so many times, because I try to keep mine from 10 under 15 minutes, and I know I blow past that quite regularly on the traditional like checkout videos. So that's not hard to do, and it's okay to mimic another YouTuber as you start, right? It's kind of what I did a little bit until you basically find your own voice, and your voice could be a combination of influences from other YouTubers, right? Like I could rattle off a list of people that influenced me and still do to this day, and some of them, like I said, I've become friends with, and you could somewhat subliminally talk to other YouTubers during one of your videos, and only they pick up what you're saying, because it's kind of like just a fun thing, If I use a few phrases, only a few people will get the joke, kind of thing, but it'll just sound normal to everybody else. This is going on nice. I do have to roll it multiple different ways to get full coverage, and I do feel like Eddie and I were rushing that day because it was like dinner time. And we were like up against it. Looking back, this is looking pretty good, even though I'm looking into the dark. So, so maybe try a few videos without, another microphone or whatever. And I know some people will blast me and say, oh, you should just pony up and spend $300 and do it. Well, I disagree, because it might be like, hey, I made a couple videos. It's not really my thing, then you're out $300. But if you make, like, say 5 videos or so, and you're like, this is really cool, I want to keep going, then definitely invest. The first thing you should invest in is audio. I would highly recommend that. But you can continue using your iPhone. So anyway, just kind of jumping ahead, what I was running into is like I've been really upping the content recently, and I was just relying on my iPhone storage, and I was basically going up against it a lot of times, especially if I was doing longer form videos, like hour-long videos or so, and then trying to get them into iMovie and then upload them. I would run out of memory, and I would have to delete apps on my phone, delete a bunch of storage, you know, delete a bunch of things, and then reinstall it later on. It was just kind of silly, but it was what I had to work with. And so, you know, I was basically doing it on a budget because the hobby's not making me any money. And even as of this recording, yes, this channel's monetized, but let's just say, we're not making retirement plans or anything like that. You know, maybe one day it'll be a supplement to my regular income, which would be great. Actually, if the hobby can pay for itself, that would be awesome, because then we could get into more like some really cool like videos with certain things, certain fans and whatnot, and maybe even have some like raffles and stuff for certain fans, you know, things like that. But at this point in time, you know, I have close to 1,000 videos up on the channel. So I thought, okay, it's not like I'm going to walk away from this tomorrow because I'm having too much fun. And we recently got monetized. So it's kind of like, and not that I'm like counting my dollars, because there's really not much to, I couldn't take 2 people out to dinner. But let's just say that I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So I thought, let's get the GoPro going and let's start using iMovie on the computer. Now I have to get a Mac to do that, and I might be sourcing one from someone, but if not, I'll have to unfortunately divert away from iMovie and use another tool like CapCut or something like that for editing. And now you've seen my videos. I don't spend a ton of time editing. I'll put clips together and whatnot, and I think now that just swallowed something. That's nice. I don't know if that was paint or dirt that came off the wall. So I will probably, now that I have quite a lot of content out there for where I'm at, can potentially spend a little more time on editing, and you know, just not doing the whole thing with intros and outros. But I have been experimenting with like watermarks and messing around with the logo for the channel, because originally I had a picture of a Lincoln Town Car. That's the whole reason why the channel is called Cartier Ed, because you know, Cartier Lincoln Town Car is a top of the line town car, and I really like Lincoln Town Cars. That's actually how my channel started. I was trying to sell my town car that was pretty much dead, and I was like, oh, I gotta think of a name for this channel. I was trying to do like a walk around video and post it, and so I was like, oh, I'll just do it on YouTube and then post it everywhere, and then I would have a record of it for like later on. So that's technically my first video, even though I wasn't really doing YouTube like I am now. And you know, I ultimately I lost my train of thought, so I'm gonna pour my pen in here. Yeah, so ultimately I said, okay, I have to deal with the storage issue. And then I was researching the GoPro, and it was like, yeah, you can download it. Stuff goes up in the cloud, and then you can download it to your phone because it uses the app and everything. I'm like, well, that puts me right back to the same problem. So then I learned how to use the memory card, and then I realized my computer, like, I won't accept it, so I had to get the adapter for it. So now I can just send it right to my computer and work on it that way. So that is kind of like what I'm working on as of this recording right now, is kind of getting comfortable with my process of bringing the content into the computer and working it that way versus just working off the apps on the phone. But again, if you're just starting out and you want to make a video, if you're serious about starting and really want to give it a run, I would suggest 1 to 2 videos a week. Now, people like myself and other channels, especially in the main hobby of this channel, the main focus of this channel, we will make multiple videos a week, if not, I wouldn't say multiples in a day, but some of us do. But I post a video once a day, and I've been doing it for over 2 years. It's a lot of work, but once you kind of get in the groove, it's actually really easy. And it's really fun because, the typical fan checkout video, just going back to what I was talking about, the fan comparison videos that we do, I kind of stage those for when I know I don't have a lot of time during the work week. And I will do them during the week, like during my lunch break if I'm working from home. I'll just pop down and do a fan comparison video. And it's a nice break in the day. And it's not this hour plus long, fan service video. Those I kind of save for the weekend. And if in the wintertime I was able to bang out quite a few over the weekend, depending on what else I was doing. And that really kind of is like my groove, right? So you'll see a flurry of like fan comparison videos, even checkout videos, and then you'll see like sprinkled in the service ones. And you can always tell when Eddie's here too, because, well, 1, he's in the video, but 2, we get more done with that. There will be a shift, as of this airing. I don't know when this video is going to air. This might be a double up, so I might air this sooner than later. But if this ends up airing sometime in May, then Daddy Longlegs on here. How do you like that paint? He's just walking across the painted wall. Lost my train of thought again, which happens very easily. And his Daddy Longlegs has been following me along, and I've been having mercy on him. So, yeah, so anyway, as I'm talking in circles, you can either just watch me paint a wall in silence, or I can just ramble on about something. And I'm also testing the audio on this because I'm using the onboard mic, and I don't have the the media mod for this thing yet. And I was just doing research this past weekend on that. So I thought doing an off-topic video as a test with this, it was a reasonable way to start. Man, the wall's extra thirsty over here. Well, where I'm working is where it's actually down to the regular wall, but I just wanted to come over all the way to cover up the lift. And where it's regular wall, it is drinking this stuff up like crazy. Oh. Rolling a basement is actually not a bad gig because you get some paint on the floor, who cares? Like I didn't put a drop cloth down. This is like a well. And you don't have to as much worry about if you miss a spot. This paint is really, like I said, just to cover up the trash that was underneath this. Alright, we're about done. I have to go back to the regular brush. Check it out. Nice. I was gonna with this dries pretty quickly. I was gonna actually start organizing today, but I'm not going to. Yeah, see what you guys see. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. What time is it? I have to pay attention to the time because I have to be somewhere. That's another reason I'm not going to continue this venture. I have to run out and ironically, I guess I could tell you what I'm doing. Ironically, I have to go out and pick up not one, not two, but three Lasko 3733s that are pretty much for free. Lady was going to give them all to me for $10, and I know they're going to get the trash canned if not, so I said yes, I will come. So I have to go meet her and then run a couple of errands while I'm out. I'm pretty sure as I'm talking to you guys that Eddie is also text messaging me. So what he does when he gets on the school bus is he goes on eBay and starts sending me fans and cars. So his dream car is I think a '59 Caddy. Right behind that is like a late '60s, early '70s Chevelle SS 454. Now, it would not surprise me if he and I, at some point in the next 5 years, have a project car together. And this looks really good. This is what happens when you take your time. And so, you know, he's preparing by sending me, but I can almost set my watch by what time it is because of his text messages. It's like I know, oh, school's over. Eddie's texting me. It must be 2 something. Right. This spot here. I tell you, if I ever, so I hope I don't have to, pull all those shelves out where those fans are over there, I would probably hit the walls with the second coat because we unfortunately really thinned out in certain spots. Yeah, so tomorrow I will look to start organizing. And it would be cool if I can just knock this off tomorrow and be done. So I do have a minor concern. I have I think I have water coming in the corner here. First I thought it was the oil tank leaking, which is a big problem, but I know I don't have a PVC pipe running off the gutter in that corner. And again, we got extreme amount of rain, so I put a plastic container under the oil tank to see if any oil is dripping into it, and nothing. So that is a good sign, because you know, I tried in the negotiation for this house to have them replace that tank because I know it's original to the house. This is 1978, and what I should say is my last house, the oil company that I used a different one because they were kind of pushy with other things. They said I was required. They like won't fill it anymore because it is a certain age, and they're like there's a law. Meanwhile, the oil company I got referred to here they're like, yeah, no problem, fill her up, and so we were good to go there. So I used just over half a gallon, which I guess is this about the same space as over there? That's probably a little less. I'm just trying to anticipate where I'm going to see yellow poking through. It might be a deal where I let this dry, and then tomorrow before I start organizing, just hit it again. All right, so I think that's going to wrap this up. I'm just going to go upstairs and clean up everything. But thanks for hanging out with me. And this took less than 40 minutes to do and looks miles and miles better. I can see where I need to go along the bottom, actually. Is that shadows? No, I need to go along the bottom. Let's just do that really quick, because I can see that green paint. I can see also where the roller hit the floor. Again, I'm not looking for perfection in a basement. I also don't want to be as sloppy as I kind of am being sloppy. I guess I should have maybe cut in with the paintbrush on the bottom, but it's okay. I mean, the floor, I'm looking at a peach color floor. I'm looking at the regular floor. I see green floor. Like, yeah, clearly look like somebody wiped their paintbrush over here. You can't see it, but there's like the peach color, like a swipe or two. It's like, oh, is there any paint left? Just hit the bottom here. Okay. Oh, I almost hit my head. Won't be the first time. All right. Well, there she goes. That's going to be it. I'll get washed up and then get out the door. This gives me plenty of time to do what I need to do. And we'll likely resume this tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and likely I'm going to try to just continue this and make this one long video. So there you have it. Bye for now. Hello, viewers. We yesterday, I should say, we painted the wall, which you were a part of. And I don't know if this is going to be a part 2 or I'm just going to make one really long video. So if you hear me say part 1, part 2, whatever. Off camera, before I jump back on just now with you guys, I opened up the paint can and just took the roller and hit some thin spots that I had noticed last night when I came back down here. And it looks really good. It looks really good. It's nice when you have the right amount of paint to do the job. You know, over there in the fan section, it's not noticeable on camera or anything, but there are some spots that I can see the yellow paint underneath. Not a big deal. So we're now in a position where we can start to make sense of this. And what I think I'm going to do, my game plan is, I have a pallet over there just leaning up. I got it last summer. Probably put it on video. And I'm going to put it over here. And then I'm going to start with I have a Christmas tree here and that one outside of the box, and start kind of stacking these containers on the pallet. And I got stuff that needs to be put away that's just like all over the place. So, and it really, it looks like there's a lot more here than what is really here. The hold up is because this was the first Christmas at this location, I didn't know how I was going to store things. So when we were bringing things down here gradually as we were dismantling Christmas, I just said, you know, let's just kind of leave it packed loosely, so we can then organize it later. Because like I didn't want to pack something up and like, oh, this should have gone in there with that. Now I do have some items right here. You can hear me pushing them. Maybe see me. I have some items here that aren't a part of Christmas. Not much. Like I have a bowling ball. I have some things I need to go through. I hope to have something to ride this year with this. I used to have dirt bikes when I was young. When I was in 6th grade, my parents allowed me my first dirt bike. It was a Yamaha RT100, a low performance 2-stroke. It was brand new. They said yes to a new bike. I was looking for a used one. That was the only way my mom would say yes to my dad and I. My dad was like, yeah, you can get one. But my mom's like, I don't want you to get one, but if you're going to get one, get new, because I don't trust anyone with a used one. So I wanted a Honda XR100. Cost a little bit more money. They sold me on, between my dad and the salesman, they sold me on the Yamaha, and you know, it was great. Ironically, a couple years later, from a friend, I bought his 1980. This was so. I bought mine in 1990, my Yamaha, brand new in 90. I can't come around behind you because I have a pallet in my hand. Come around in front of you. So brand new 1990. Can you believe that was 36 years ago? That bike would be 36 years old today if it's still around somewhere. My gosh. And then, how do I want to just do this like this? And then, I would say, I forget how old I was. So that was 6th grade, maybe somewhere around 7th grade. My buddy, my best friend at the time, he was into dirt bikes, had an XR100, an 85 XR100, and I always wanted an XR. His dad was willing to sell it to me for $200. It needed about $200 worth of work, but his dad worked at Ford, so he's like, if we go to the Honda place together, I'll make sure we get the right parts, and then I'll install them for you. So I thought that was an awesome deal. So then I had 2 bikes. Of course, my buddies liked that when they would come over, because when we, what kid that age had 2 dirt bikes? I did, I guess. And so then by the time I was like 16, 17, because I was basically kind of too big for those bikes to begin with, because I was about my height in like 7th grade, and I'm 6 foot. So I sold them, and then when I was 22, 23, I bought a brand new XR250, and I had that. Probably had that for. It was actually a 2000, right? So I bought a brand new 2000, and I think I sold it in like 03 or 04, maybe 04. And I regretted selling it, even though I didn't use. At that point in my life, I didn't use it really at all, and so I just wanted the cash, and I sold it to some guy. And that was that. But in reality, now I want a dual sport. They don't make XRs anymore, except they do make Honda XR 650L, which is a dual sport, and that is where I think I'm heading next. So it's kind of like I've run the gamut from a XR 100 up to a 650. And what's cool about the the XR 650 is it's the same technology in 1993, basically, when it was released, and that's kind of cool because I like that stuff. So anyway, if you are not into any of that stuff, then all that meant nothing to you. So this tree here came from a friend. This box is not in the greatest shape. What I should probably do is put it I just don't want anything on the floor. I mean, it's been well documented that we have having some water issues. Okay, I'm probably gonna get some bungees to close that up. I'm trying to think of where I have some. I know I have some in the garage, but where do I have string? Or I could just put something on top of it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, I think this big container might be empty. Yes, how about that? That is empty. So, all right, this actually goes to my tree. Eddie brought it down here, which was cool of him, but didn't make it in a box, which is fine. All right, I need to now organize. I have basically, well, these are my candles for the windows. And there's some sitting on this cooler here. I don't know if you can see it. That needs to be organized. Well, I got to put them on the box. I do have 3 more candles upstairs, believe it or not, still in the window. In this box here are crisp C9s that I use indoor only. And then in this box down here is what I lent out to Eddie. He took to the other location and then brought him back. So, that being said, I do also have another set of C9s upstairs. I should probably go fetch all this stuff before I close it all off. But before that, I do have, oh man, there's stuff everywhere. The good news is it won't get this bad this year because there'll be a system. And that's the thing, when you come to a new place, you don't have a system. So these, if you follow the channel, we bought these when we were in New Jersey, these LEDs. They were on sale for super duper cheap, C9 LEDs. And in our hotel room in New Jersey, Eddie decorated our hotel room. We were there for 4 nights. It was really cozy. It was really cool. So for like whatever we spent, $12 for 3 sets, it was worth it. And then what he suggested is we use these in the garage or the fan area next year or this year, whatever. I said, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. And I think I'm going to be able to, I'm going to have extra, I know I'm going to have extra boxes when I get this stuff all squared away. Yeah, we ended up getting 3 sets. These weren't bad, actually. I mean, it was cool. It was really cool. I would do the same thing again. Decorate the hotel room while we're visiting New Jersey, but with like another set of lights that we got. We had gotten there, and we did a video on all this stuff too, but we had gotten there early because I wanted to leave really early to avoid traffic. So like we didn't have plans until that evening, I don't believe. And so Eddie and I hit, because right there was a Lowe's, there's a Home Depot, and we hit all those stores. There was a he actually made out really well. I got these, and then there's a Salvation Army store, and he ended up with a 9-inch Sears oscillating fan. So that was a good haul. Yeah, that was a fun day, actually. So I know I know I'm sounding cheery right now at this very moment, but I just did a video before this one, and it'll, I don't know when it's airing, before this, after this, whenever. I got totally ripped off on eBay, and it wasn't even I was buying something. I sold a Lakewood 223. I had a surplus of them, let's just say, and I sold all 3 to different sellers, right? And this one buyer was kind of nagging me on one of the auctions, and ended up selling to somebody else, which was fine. And then he's like, if you have any more, list them, I'll definitely buy it. And he was just broken English, you know, just whatever. So he won the auction on the second one. Cool, boxed it up. I was really proud of these Lakewoods because they were, when I got them, they were pretty dirty. They needed TLC. They needed Cartier Ed's touch, right? So we did all that, and I did all that, and maybe Eddie was involved in some of the videos, and I was really happy with them. I almost kept them because, hey, you just put all that work into them, they come out really well. You're like, I should just keep this. And I sent it. The guy complained that it was damaged in shipping and blah blah blah, and I just said something didn't seem right. Normally I just refund the money, and I list things for cheap. Any of my auctions, like I listed a 223 for $19. I wanted a collector to have it. I just wanted it to go to a good place. And ultimately, so I just said, you know what? I had a funny feeling. I just said, if you send it back, I'll give you a full refund. Normally, if something, it's very rare when something happens, when I sell something, that there's an issue. I usually tell them to keep the product. And I'm just looking for lights. I tell them to keep the product. And I just give him a refund, right? But something seemed off. He was very accusatory, and I was like, "This is not right." And so I said, "Yeah, send it back." Sent it back. I made a huge rookie mistake, and I refunded him before I even opened up the box because I was just like, "All right, well, it got damaged in shipping. Here's his $20 back plus shipping." I opened it up. I did all this on video, so when that video airs or did air, my reaction is very raw in that video. And my reaction is because he opened up the cabinet, cut the motor out, and took the blades and closed it all back up and said he got it shipped that way. Now, I am very public with all the stuff I do with my fans, with the channel, and on all of that. So there's no way I would do something like that and you know, and be able to maintain a good reputation. Especially, like, why would I do that? Why would I cut the motor out after I serviced it and everything like that? So it was really, really upsetting to me. Very upsetting to me. Actually, these can go in here. And so I just filmed that video before this, and before I came down here, I went on eBay and wrote to eBay. I wrote to him, told me he had 24 hours to box up that motor and those blades and get them back to me. And I also said, expect to hear from eBay and legal. Which is true. And maybe he's a subscriber of the channel. I don't know. And I just find it, honestly, I feel like it's a kid who did it. That's a shady kid move. And I'm just, not that I would sell any of my Edisons or anything like that, but can you imagine if that was a vintage fan and he was looking for parts? All right, I have to go upstairs and grab a few more lights, and I'll come back down, but we'll just stop this for a moment. All right, I'm back, and so I had another set of C9s in my bedroom and 3 candles. And yeah, still, it's, as of this recording, it's, I don't know, March 24th or something like that. Still absolutely turning them on every night. And what I really like is the candles are kind of like night lights in the morning, because I get up anywhere from, on the early side, I get up at 3 in the morning. You know, the later side, sounds funny to say later, but like 4. Tuesday's my late morning, and I get up at 4:50, but still it's dark out, right? And it's just nice to turn a candle on in a window versus the big light. And so, you know, there you have that. And now I don't, although when I moved into this house, not to try to sound flashy or anything like that, I had to buy a couple of beds, and oh man, I ended up spending way more money than I wanted to, and I got this like fancy pants bed that has a light on it, so that kind of serves as my night light. All right, so this box, this was actually from end of Christmas 2024, when going into 25, when there was an abundance of C9 sales, if you will, after the season was over, and it was great because I used a lot. I don't have a ton of clear C9s, but I have a bunch of sets, and I still have 2 unopened ones, which you might have just saw, that I use, that I decided to use indoors. And Eddie pretty much ripped off my my colored ones. That's all right. Okay, so I'm wondering. That's just not going to enable me to stack anything on it. I will look to remedy that. good. These are all, both these boxes are C9s for indoor use, although there are some LEDs in there. Okay. What is in that? Oh, see, that's outdoor stuff. That's all outdoor stuff. But those plastic containers, those I don't actually mind if they stay on the floor because they're sealed, right? Okay. These are packaging. I'm actually going to probably have to use another box to consolidate things because I have. So here, for Christmas, a belated Christmas gift, I got Eddie some True Tones and a stringer, right? But he wanted to check it out. He has vintage GE lights in there. So I have a winter 2024, like heading into Christmas 2024. On Marketplace, I got some vintage red and green C9s with a box of extra bulbs. And I looked at the bulbs and they're really old, as in like those GE bulbs. So he wanted to outfit his True Tone stringer with the vintage incandescents. So I still have quite a bit left. This box was actually filled to the top because the indoor, so the indoor C9s that we've been using, as they've been blown out, we've been replacing them with the vintage incandescents. I have not been using these for any of the outdoors because yeah, they're going to be. All right. Well, anyone with a GoPro could tell me why it just randomly beeped and turned off. That would be good to know. At least it beeps, so you know if it turns off or not. All right, so what I'm trying to do is kind of get the indoor stuff together, because as I talked about before, the outdoor stuff is mainly in these plastic containers. This was actually a present. This was my Christmas present from Eddie a few years ago. At what's that store called? Below Five or whatever it is. Five Below. This is my gift. God bless him. His mother, like I think it was last year, she was just like, "Hey, rule for the kids, like they have to actually think of like thoughtful gifts." I was like, "Okay." Here's a birthday box, which is like birthday decorations. Kind of cool. We do some decorating like that for the kids. Hang up banners and stuff for the birthday. Let's see. I think it's that white container. That stuff in that white container is mainly stuff for the living room and the Christmas tree. Yeah, so that will go in there. All right, remind me, I just put this little light bulb from the ceramic tree in my pocket. So that will go in there. So speaking of ceramic trees, here's one of them. See, what I'm also trying to do is that those Christmas tree boxes are a little misshapen, but if I stack up around it, it should be pretty good. All right, so the ceramic tree goes in this one. My grandmother's, I think, is in this one. Yep, it's in there. Yeah, there's not a really great way to store ceramic trees. I mean, I guess one way to do it is to get like pelican cases with the plucking foam and just like maybe get like 2 Pelican cases, like the size of that blue container there, and put 2 in side by side. All right. These are spare bulbs. That one in my pocket just went in there. So I know I said plastic containers, but I'm going to start by putting indoor plastic containers next to the pallet. What I'll probably ultimately do is either go the shelving route or just get more pallets, right? Because even though these are on the floor and they're safe because of the plastic, I like, I was just having a conversation with Jordan a few times. It's nice because you get with the pallets, you get the airflow underneath. So the moisture and just things like that, it's good, right? And if you should get water in, at least it buys you that as well. All right, I know ceramic tree goes in that one. These are ornaments. Looks like a stock room back here. All right, ceramic tree. I don't know what's in that container. These I showed off in the checkout video. This was a crisp. That same time we were down in New Jersey, where I was just talking about the LEDs that Eddie put up in the hotel room. I bought these, overpaid for them of course, but I bought these at a consignment store, and they must have had like 25 of them all lined up for sale. And I like the blue, red. I'm going to try to keep that theme, and I'm going to put it in the kitchen window next year. All right, what's in here? Oh, okay, that's outdoor lighting. Those are the stake lights. All right, everything is getting close to being accounted for. You might be like, what are you talking about? You got stuff everywhere. Some of the outdoor stuff that is in cardboard boxes, like these inflatables, I think I will put on the pallet just because they're in cardboard. This is probably an empty box. Yes. My mom got a false graph. I used to never be able to pronounce that. False graph, whatever. And she got a whole set when we moved to Massachusetts in 1985, right? And I kept some of the empty boxes, and I wanted one of those, I don't know, you know, like those like organizers you put on a desk, the slots with your papers. I tried to make one out of like a couple of these and stack them up. But then my mom was a teacher, so I would get old textbooks and play school. So the names of the textbooks I put in these boxes, both science books, Speaking for Writing, math book, The Way of the World, workbook, and textbook. I still love playing school. It's a wonder I didn't become a teacher. I do enjoy teaching, and I've had some opportunities as an adult. All right, what's in this box down here? Oh, that's computer stuff. Okay. This is an empty box, like a shipping container box. Just put that over here. Yeah, I'm still peeved about the fan situation. All right, so this, the same person who gave me this other tree here also gave me some garland with lights in it, which we can, I guess, just put here. Actually, what I like about that is it's in a trash bag, so it effectively acts as a cover if that box is not closed. That's it. Whoa. A ton of incandescent mini whites and more ornaments. I thought her tree was pre-lit. Maybe these are the lights that go to it. No, it's pre-lit, so sweet. I don't know where we're going to use them, but sounds good to me. Okay, get someplace. Now I have Okay, so this ceramic tree is probably going to go in this box. And then I have a bunch of, you can't see them probably because they're to the right of you, up on the shelf. A bunch of like mini ceramic trees, and where are the boxes to them? This might be one of them actually. I remember the styrofoam mess. Yeah, at the other location, my old location, like it's over a decade I lived there, and I had this stuff packing up Christmas. Like I could do it blindfolded. In fact, before I got this house and I was living at the condo location and whatnot, they would still set up, and I would help set up the Christmas over there. I did some helping outside this year too, but when they went to tear it down, I literally wrote out instructions on where everything goes, and I think I numbered all the containers, and so I just said, explained how everything went, and I did it basically with that. Well, I had to go physically to the containers to number them, but when I wrote the instructions out, I did it like without looking at anything, just because I know how to do it. And then so I went over there, helped them set up because I can do it so quickly. I would just basically spot everything out in the yard and say, okay, you set up this section, here's how you do it. I laid it all out. We banged out the whole thing so fast because the four of us did it. But here, I'm still learning everything. Okay, what's in here? Tell me there's more lights. Oh. Okay, so the lights that are in here, I had in sixth grade. Speaking of sixth grade, I had like a 3-foot artificial tree in my room, and I had some incandescent minis. And here is the one set that's left of them, and they have like the fake. They're kind of a combo set. They have can't really see, but you probably see them. These are just the knockoff ones that slide over the reflectors, and then those, I used to have one set of each, and believe me, they lasted for decades, and eventually, and I have that tool, they fix it with the shunt and all that. Eventually, I just couldn't repair the one set, and over time, I would lose some of the like little reflectors, and was kind of out of luck. So that box is kind of too big for all that. So I basically combined it into one set. I wonder. I'm gonna need a bigger box. Okay. Just thinking this through. So if I get quiet for a moment, it's my wheels are turning. What I'm trying to find. Okay, that's weird. What I'm trying to find is I have a bunch of little mini ceramic trees, like this tiny battery operated. 4 of them I see sitting on that shelf, but I can't find the boxes for them, and I thought I had boxes for them. What's in this bag? Ooh, the boxes for them, I think. Nostalgic tree nightlight. Where did the nightlight go? I bet the nightlight's in that. So I have one of those ceramic nightlights. Eddie got for me another Christmas, probably the year after the garland. So I think it's laying in this box. So I'm just going to throw that box there. Fix that. So I think 2 of those. Yeah, so I have 2 green ones. No, 2 green ones that are the same size. 1 white one that's the same size. Then a tiny green one that just blinks when you power it up. Yeah. You know, this styrofoam, like I try to keep the original packaging to keep this stuff. The styrofoam is brutal to work with. Yeah, it's the shape of a tree. Let's see. Looks like I don't have all of the boxes, but if I could get some of them in. Without breaking it. Yeah, so now I got this stuff all over the floor and on me. So one of the other grievances that I have today, so you've probably been in some of the videos somewhere along the line if this is not the first time you're here with me. I've been dealing with some water in the basement, and I've talked about the saga ad nauseum because I'm just trying to deal with it, and it's kind of stressful. So, a friend of a friend, that apparently is a contractor. I've never met this friend of a friend, and said friend was like, "Yeah, I'll text my friend." It's like the son of her friend or whatever. I was like, "Sure," and. Response was, make a video of everything and narrate it and send it to me and I'll tell you if I can help you. That was the text message that she got. It wasn't like, hey, what's his number? Let's talk on the phone. You know, or hey, let's talk on the phone. Just give me an idea what's going on and I'll come out and take a look. So I was really put off by that. And so I just wrote back and said, you know, hey, was thinking about everything, and I just think it would be best if I find somebody else or whatever. And then it was like, oh no, I'll get him to come out. Right. What's this? Health and wellness starts here. Nostalgic tree nightlight. And all right, so this probably can be canceled. This is a little ornament. So I now have, I think I know what I can do. So I'm working on box consolidation now. So the box that these lights are in, yeah, I think I just have the one set. No, I still have both sets. Sweet, so both sets are still intact. Awesome. That's 6th grade right there. I am 40, I almost said 46. I am 48 years old, and I have light sets that I've owned since 6th grade. So that would be like 1990. How awesome is that? All right, well, I'm trying to think of where to, all right, I have to step away for a bio break. Be right back. As I'm learning to use my GoPro, I'm learning that the batteries doesn't last that long, which is unfortunate. It's down to 38%, and I had a full charge when we started this endeavor. Okay, where was I? The little ceramic trees. I don't think I have any more boxes for them, which is unfortunate. What's that? Is that painting supplies? Some more painting supplies. Most Christmas stuff. So those are my replacement C9 bulbs for the outdoors. Okay, all right. So what I think I need to do is, I think the remaining little ceramic things here, I think are going to have. I almost knocked it over. What's this? These are light bulbs. What's that? Okay. Oh, can't wait to get my life organized down here. This has been agitating me for a while, just because this is not how I roll. So these are safe in here. Oh, back to those lights that I've had since 6th grade. Uh, they typically, I typically use them on the mantle in the previous location. So this year I did not use them at all. I decided to go with vintage, authentic vintage C9s, red and green, just laying across the mantle because I just thought it looked really nice. I didn't even use these this year, and I just didn't have a spot for them. So we'll see. Now Eddie has. We did a checkout video on these awesome bubble light set that he got on winter vacation down in Florida, and you should check out that video. They're pretty cool, and he must leave them here, which is cool. So we'll put them there. There's plenty of room in that trunk, and things will be safe. Okay, we're narrowing things down. All right, I think. What's this? So she put like bags of stuff down here, and I don't know if they're decorations or what. Yeah, there's little reindeers. So the reason this stuff is coming over here from her location is her location is essentially turned into a rental property, and so she had decorated it with a bunch of stuff this year, but it was like not really appreciated, or not appreciated, but just, you know, she couldn't really be there to enjoy it. All right. I think I'm trying to think of how to consolidate things, because I have these ceramic trees, these true tones, and if I can get a box like this, that's a big reason why I kept so many of these boxes, which I probably said 20 times already. But yeah, this is nice. Oh, this is great. And then I think some of these, so I have all these extra bulbs and things. Which I can put in here. Someone out there let me know if the battery's running out. Okay. Oh yeah. I think I will stick my childhood lights in here. I have to find a place to use those again. I like to use them, but they're so old. I don't want to say they're temperamental, but the what do you call it? The little things that slide over the lights. What do they call it? The whatever they are. They slide off so easily. I remember that even when they were new, and that's why I like the mantle and the fireplace, because they wouldn't move around, and they're easy to set up. Okay, so I think we're good here. All right. This is working out nicely. I got this big space up front here, which could be, I have to put, this is my mom's ceramic tree from the 80s. And then I have the inflatables because they're in cardboard. I have to, the candle brass with the incandescents. As much as I don't like to mix the indoor stuff with the outdoor stuff, there's plenty of space in here. So I might put the candelabras in there. Otherwise, I just have to get a long box to stick them in. And at least in that, they're sealed up. All right, so I'm going to put this ceramic tree in here. This is awesome. I love this thing. I remember, this is another thing that I remember from my childhood, is this ceramic tree. Yeah, when Eddie and we went to Lowe's, I think it was definitely after Christmas time, to get some of these containers, and I was kind of guesstimating like what we needed, and I kind of overshot because there's definitely, in terms of my C9s, I guess they're not mine anymore. You know, a lot of them are at the old location because I don't want to leave them totally high and dry. So, just saw another little tree. These things are multiply. Oh, this is the nightlight. That's what I was looking for. So we kind of split. I actually did it because, like, she did say, your lights, but you know, and I know the neighbors over there really appreciated everything I did over the years, and I couldn't just basically walk away with everything. I just couldn't do it. So I said, look, I will leave a lot of stuff here because, quite frankly, I don't have as much shrubbery here to put stuff on yet and all that. So I just thought it would work well, and it did. And as I said to you before, a lot of the stuff for the yard kept there, and you know, it came out pretty good. I was happy with it. I did do a walkthrough video, in fact, infamous walkthrough video, because I was quoted multiple times in someone else's video for using the word incandescent, and so we got that going for us. All right. So next, we can put, you know, I should put the individual candles. How are we doing on battery over here? Sorry to step in front of you, my friends. Down to 29%. Okay. What's in this Ulta bag? Is that like fancy shopping bag? For a fancy shopping place? I see pine cones. I see. Oh, this is definitely not my bag. This is her stuff. So we'll put it here. Actually, if I would have zip tied that shut, I wouldn't be able to leave that. Not zip tied, but bungee it shut. I wouldn't be able to leave that stuff up there. Okay. Getting somewhere. Feeling good. I'm thirsty. This is a non-alcoholic channel, by the way, just so you know. But we do encourage caffeine, and that's what I'm doing here. You know, while keeping all these like pile of boxes to the left of you, which you can't really see, it's kind of annoying. Just keep piles of it. But I'm glad I did, because I wanted to wait till this project was done. So these are vintage from the 60s. These are my great aunts. She never really used them, but I still have the original boxes for them. So I put these boxes in a box. The lids were always cut off. They never had lids. I mean, she probably cut them off because how she stored them. I just loosely throw the electrical cord in there. Now these were in service this year. Likely 2 won't be next year because of the candelabras. So I will take 2 of these out of service just because they're so old and to protect them. But I have one that the plug failed this year. So I'll have to address that. You know, what's cool about these plugs, and they still work other than when it failed, is, you know, it has the female end in the rear. So it was kind of cool because the C9s I had around the living room window, which are still around the living room window, I kind of got bamboozled into leaving them up there. And I made a deal. I said, once we get end tables and actual lamps, they have to come down. And anyway, the ones I used them in the window there, and I would just plug them in to the end of the lights, which worked awesome. And then I plugged something else into it as well. Now I'm missing one. Is it in the box? No. Where is the third one, which would be the busted one? Oh, here it is. Maybe this is not the busted one. No, this is not the busted one. I'll have to go back and look. This one has a warm LED in it. Actually, works pretty well. I wanted to try it to see if it looked like a incandescent, and it's just decent. This one actually was in Eddie's room. This, of course, you know Eddie, he likes vintage stuff. All right, so I did have this other box that I put these in. It's the same box I've been using probably since the 1990s. No, definitely since the 1990s. So my dad made an ultimatum. He likes Christmas lights, but feels like they can be overdone. And he made an ultimatum. He said either you can either put lights outside and no candles in the window, or you just put candles in the window. I mean, that's a no-brainer because you obviously put way more lights outside than you can in your windows. So I would put them in my bedroom window. I was so upset the first year he said that. Oh, so upset. I don't understand why. Like, what's the big deal with one? By the way, these are for the bathroom. That's battery-operated ones for the bathroom. But you know, like I just didn't get that. I didn't get that. I bet you if I brought it up to him now, he probably wouldn't even remember saying that. Or, I mean, he would probably be like, why did I say that? So I have all these candles that plug in, or my parents, and like, so I would use them in my room, and then sometimes like set them up in my sister's rooms, not in the windows, because I know if it was more than my room, I would get in trouble. But I'd put them like on their dressers in their rooms. Basically use them as indoor decorations. Yeah, these are all non-fused, candles. I mean, really, they should be durable because they're indoors, and it's one single light bulb. Now, when I put them in the box, same thing with the cords. I just lay the cords out. Years ago, when I was young, I would like wrap them around each candle, but notice how the cords just drop? That's because I don't wind them up around the candles any longer. And this light beer box, again, we don't condone the drinking, but this light beer box that they're all going in, my dad wasn't an alcoholic or a drinker, but like he would go through like phases where he would like to keep a case of beer around. He would have a couple cool ones like on the weekend or something. So I used to think as a kid, whatever I was doing in my room, whatever projects or whatever, I was like, oh, cool, boxes to store stuff. So I used to like pull some of these boxes aside, and this light beer box was one of them from the 90s. So like this whole kind of setup is nostalgic on its own. But somehow it all fits. All right, that's that. Okay. Now I think we can put these things. This was a new inflatable Eddie got me for this Christmas. It's kind of cool. He gets me like Christmas stuff for Christmas, versus just like some other gift. And in that regards, that would be easy to shop for because like I love it. I love it. Plus, it gives meaning to something like the nightlight, the garland, the inflatable. It's like, oh, Eddie, he's my man. It'll be interesting, with these videos. like obviously it's cool hanging out, talking to you guys and everything, and you know, it gives the viewers to get to know me a little bit outside of the normal stuff we talk about. And but it'll be cool, maybe, who knows, like 20, 30 years he'll go on YouTube and go back and watch this stuff. Maybe he'll catch a line or two about me talking about him or whatever. Okay, so this box is empty. This false graph box I used to keep. Long story, but to shorten it a bit, this false graph box, or whatever you call it, used to, obviously had plates in it. My very first apartment in 2002, I shared with my sisters for a whole long other reason. And we got our first Christmas tree, live tree, but we had no lights for it. My youngest sister worked at the dollar store. She said, leave it to me. She comes home with like all these lights. They're like 50 bulbs to a strand, right? So I was like, okay, we'll just plug them all in. Keep in mind, it's the dollar store. They don't plug into one another. So we had like dozens of 50 oh, it was so funny, on like a 7-foot, 8-foot big fat tree. Oh my gosh. And so, you know, over time, eventually, like, I replaced them with like regular. This is before LEDs. You know, this is the early 2000s. You know, you're still buying mini incandescents all over the place. So, so I kept them in that false graph box. Like, I would just wind them up and keep them in there, and I would find other uses for them. I'd put them around the windows. They worked perfectly for that for years and years and years. Well, finally, not this year, but I think it was last year, they were getting really hard to keep alive. Like, I had replaced every fixture multiple times, and then used the incandescent tool, the fix, the shunt and all that, and like find the break in the circuit. I doctored them for years and years and years. They were like $1 a piece, and I got, so if last year was it's 2024, it was 2002, so I got over 2 decades worth of stuff. And anyway, they all lived in that false graph box, and it was in the bottom of that white plastic container. And like I said, last year, it kind of, that was that. I tried so hard, because I was like, oh, we're down to the last set. And when I got to the other location, I would string them around Eddie's windows. When he was younger, I would string them around his sister's windows. We had this artificial like tree plant in the kitchen. I would put a couple sets on that, and they worked out really well. And they, but eventually they just had enough. Okay, so I am putting these candelabras in this plastic container, despite this plastic container mainly being outdoor lighting. So like what I have in here is icicle lights that go over the garage, a couple projector lights, a box of stakes for like the lawn ornaments, and I think like a couple of timers and things. So it should be fine there. Okay, I think I might have all the cardboard off the ground. So that being said, this stuff here is indoor stuff, so I think that should get first dibs on the pallet, because all of this stuff on the pallet is, except for the inflatables, is indoor stuff. And that's good, because this is a ceramic tree down here. All right. And these are the replaceable bulbs. So anyway, I ended up bringing my replaceable bulb stash to the other location when we were putting up the lights because it's like, well, they don't have any. Those blow mold candles were my mom's from the early 80s as well. And I know, like, it was a situation like, they're pain, you know, because they blow over unless you put sand or something in them. But I didn't want to do that. They never did it, and they're like, I don't want them. So like, we're not setting them up this year or whatever. So I put them in my bedroom growing up through the 90s, and then at the old location I put them outside and I bungee them in a way that they wouldn't fall over. But I was careful because the sun didn't get on them. That's why they look as good as they do. And then I ultimately, here, the sun hits the front of the house, so I used them indoors again. All right, so I think I'm gonna put this stuff this way. So that is the candelabras. These are extension cords. You know, this weighs more, so I should probably put this at the bottom. What I like about these containers is I can see in them, and I am going to, I think, get them up on a pallet. It's insane that that's all indoor Christmas stuff. Well, I guess 2 Christmas trees make up a lot of it. And then, oh boy. So these are C9 only. And those are the stake lights. Where on earth are my C7s? Where are they? There's an empty gray container there. Where in the world? That's totally empty. There's nothing in there. I have no idea what's in this. This is probably her stuff. More, oh my gosh. More of her incandescents. Minis. Okay. So, I guess I should also preface by saying a lot of this crap is hers too. We're gonna use the sunroom. We're gonna do some serious decorating in the sunroom. We talked about. I kind of had some stuff in there, but we're gonna put that second tree in there. Where is the other minis? C7s, not minis, but C7s. They're not all in this box. These are all C9s. Yeah, because I see the clips for the. I must have them in another container somewhere. What do I have here? Oh yeah, all right. There's more C9s in here. There's okay, C7s in here. I'm just so used to, like, at the other location, I had 2 of these just with C9s plus overflow in the third one, and then I had 1 container with C7s, and then a giant gray container with the stake lights. Okay, I'm not going crazy. Well, yeah, I am crazy, but not going crazy. We went crazy already. How's our battery doing? We're getting low. Okay, what I'm learning about my GoPro, and probably GoPros in general, is batteries don't last super long. Maybe because all the display and whatnot on it. It's not like the iPhone. Say we went about the iPhone, but I can record for hours on one battery. And so what I did was I actually I have it plugged in while we're working right now. So let's hopefully that works, and we can keep going. And electricity is sparse in this basement, so I'm running an extension cord across the basement to you. Walk all the way back around. Okay. The interesting thing is, because I've turned the fans off, What you hear is the dehumidifier, but I turned the fans off because I'm still dealing with the water down here, and the water was pretty much at bay, right? I had wet vac, fans were running overnight, all that. I only shut the fans off earlier because I was doing some other videos, and since we've been working over here with the fans off, I could actually, the puddles are growing again, and it hasn't rained all day. It's been sunny out, so the ground is just so wet. Anyway, it's just an observation I've been making. Okay, suppose we could put these on top. And what I'll do is, in my travels, be on the lookout for a pallet. The only problem with a pallet is it's not like I can just pull over and grab it, right? Because they're big. I have to come back and get the trailer for the car, and I think the Lincoln is blocking it. And the Lincoln, I've run it. See previous videos. I've run it since the winter has ended, but I haven't moved it. I mean, it's fine to move, but like I gotta deal with all that. Wow, this is really coming together. Okay, so then that leaves us with this dumb mailbox. It's a total joke. So the other side blew off and it's gone. I don't know where. I've been around this property a bunch of times since that blew off, just for other reasons, and I have not spotted it. It'll probably show up at some weird time, like destroyed in the woods or something. And I was gonna, every year I'm gonna toss that thing because it's a piece of junk. And every year I somehow get talked into like not tossing it. The little lights on top work, so we'll see. And then this Santa sleigh. So this had built-in like lights to it, and the ones on the sleigh work. The ones on the reindeer do not. But with that being said, the ones on the reindeer were replaced with a set of You Got It DELs. So what I tried to do is match them with the ones on the sleigh, because these are LEDs as well. I tried to match them, but kind of failed at that. So whatever. This reindeer though does, you know, set up and stand pretty well. Like this doesn't blow away or blow over or anything. It's all metal. It just kind of sits. I tend to store it like that. And I think, without further ado, I think that's all the Christmas stuff. My third Christmas tree. This was a former coworker and fellow Eagles fan. Actually, I should turn it upside down just to keep the dust off the front. There we go. So it's packed away, and you know, similar to the old location, I would pack everything in a corner, 2 corners actually, and there was, as I've talked about before, there was more stuff there. Like it would stack all the way up to the ceiling on both sides. And then actually I did have a couple shelves with some of the smaller boxes, but we were able to put those on top of the pile there. So the stuff that you see down below on the floor in front of it, that is non-Christmas stuff. I have to figure out what to do with that. These boxes now over here, I can start working on consolidating them out of here. Now I do have a bag of like bags, if you will. That's paint. That's paint supplies. I just have to reorganize that. I have to reorganize this shelf, which is not a big deal. I have a bunch of nice empty containers. I have to go through that pile there. Now this, I gotta move that. It's a weird, like, old garbage can full of like, I thought it was cat litter. I didn't know what it is or what it was, but I had some pipe drippage up there in the last year, and Eddie just like put that there to catch it. Like because I want to go on the floor, which is not really a big deal. So this shelf is actually the next shelf up for the shelf in the fan area, but if I put the top shelf on, the stuff on the top wouldn't fit on the shelf. Really, what I wanted to use this shelf for is the stuff that's on the floor over here, like my bowling ball. I still have my Matchbox cars, a couple boxes with like photos in it and stuff. So I need to set up a shelf for that kind of stuff. The shelf here to your right, which you might be out of frame, is I kind of want to put like stock there. You know, like I have light bulbs, a bin of shorter indoor bin of indoor cords, power strips, another bin of like just short outdoor cords for use in various places, packing tape, packing supplies, overflow computer supplies, vacuum filters. Like that's what I want to use that shelf for, kind of just like stock. And so I don't want to go throwing that stuff there. This pile of mess here, like, so I have a set. Oh boy. All right, let's think about this here. Actually, these belong with the Christmas stuff. These are I put down on the driveway or walking area so you don't trip on lights. Just stick these here. Fine. So this really helps me understand what I need. Like we talked about, I need a pallet, and I'm wondering if I'm going to need another shelf for like personal items, like I just talked about, that pile there. And it might make sense to put it on the wall behind you versus just going down the row here, because I kind of like to put seasonal stuff on this like area. So I have like beach stuff. Maybe that's what we work on next. And the beach stuff is really easy. It's just I have everything loaded in like a beach cart, and I could just kind of wheel it over, set it there. And that puddle is coming in, and I'm starting to wonder if the stuff's coming up through the floor versus that corner. Oh, it'd be so nice. Come down here and not. One, it's nice to know where everything is, be organized and neat, because that's just like how I like to roll. That's Eddie's beach chair. He's funny. He bought that beach chair probably when he was 12. He's like, I want my own beach chair. Okay, so these are old. These are old kitchen chairs, which I don't know what to do with. The table, well, never really went with the table that we have. The table's gone, but I have another old table at the other location that I already should ask if she's doing with that table. Because then I would keep those chairs because they go with that table. Here's some rafts, which are fun. These are cushions for the. These are cushions for the table. Not table. Why would you have cushions for a table? Cushions for the chairs on a little deck behind the garage, which I've never used. This chair was a guest chair at my dad's office. I don't know how stuff ends up here. My dad's office, meaning like his company that hasn't been in business since 2000. So like that chair's been floating around. They had two of those that they were just like guest chairs in the main office. I don't even know where the other one is. The other thing too is I'm less embarrassed with if someone has to come down here for something because there's not crap everywhere. Oh, I do have these steel chairs here. I thought they were at the other location. Okay. That's really good. Alright, so I'm attempting to get to the beach cart. Which side did I got to it? Alright, so this thing here. Beach cart will load the beach chairs on it. I thought they were on it. I don't know why they're not, but maybe, you know what? It's possible that like we went to the beach or something. So this beach cart really only comes on vacation with us down in Delaware, and when we go to the beach here, we just usually just grab our chairs and walk onto the beach. They are handy though. Actually, what's also cool about them too is they're handy for doing just this, like storing your stuff, because it's all really contained. All right, so beach. I did this at the old location too. Actually, there's one of these at the old location. I had two of them. One I found in the trash. That probably doesn't surprise you. And all it needed was a little persuasion to fold up, and then I WD-40'd it when I got home, and we ended up with two, which is good because they're expensive. And I have I actually service my beach cart when I come back from vacation. Of course I hose it out, but then I hit all the metal and the cotter pins on the wheels, the axle with WD-40, just to keep, because that salt like destroys everything in the sand. These rafts are a ton of fun, by the way. Got these at Dick's. I bought one year and it was a hit, so then I bought a second one and it never came out of the box for years. Alright. I keep saying it over and over again. We're heading somewhere. Yeah. This stuff when I get a second pallet, I mean, this stuff will just be easy to slide out. And I don't even have to get a pallet like now. Like, it can be over the summer when I can access the trailer and, you know, we're moving stuff around more in the yard. Okay. In this pile here, there's a lot of like drop cloth blankets and things like that. And gotta think of how I'm gonna. Yeah, these are all like sheets we use for like painting upstairs and whatnot. I have a hose down here. I think I have so I have, that's another project. I never got to fixing the hoses that I inherited with this house in the back, but I do have some hoses that I brought here. I think I might have another carpet in this. I think I have another carpet, and I think I have another empty container. Look at all these sheets. And when I say sheets again, I mean like sheets for paint jobs and whatnot. And I actually at the old location in the wintertime would cover the fans. Except the one fan shelf that I had at the old location. We brought it here, and that's all I had, right? And it was in the same area, actually, ironically, the same area that the Christmas stuff was stored next to it against the wall, and it really wasn't like a fan area like we have it today, where we have like a, you know, kind of a setup. And this kind of sheet here, screen sheet, was I would actually cover in the wintertime to keep the dust off everything, because I really wouldn't do anything over the winter with anything on that shelf. But now it's such a part of my life. When I'm not traveling, I'm basically down in the fan area almost every single day, and I'm kind of proud to say that because it's kind of cool. I'm hesitant to call it a studio. I know so many of you call anywhere you film a studio. I'm not there. To me, it's a fan area. Yeah, we don't necessarily just film. Okay, this is trash. These are curtains with the metal part in it. I don't even remember what part. This will have to put by the trash bag. I don't even know what's in some of these bags. Well, I remember washing these things, these cushions, and I do remember putting them in these bags, which they clearly fell out. They may end up getting canceled out because I just don't know what to do with all this extra stuff. There's a carpet here, and I forget if this is like a nice carpet, or like one I can use down here. Oh, I think this was the carpet that I had in my Midwest location. It certainly could be used down here. So this carpet, I think this was, no, this was not used in a Midwest location. I don't know where this came from. I bought this out in the Midwest and used this in the other room, the office room. Now this is a junky hose. Either the junky hose from here. It's not a good hose. Alright, so here's, so this is a data logger, like kind of junction bot, or like old school data logger, part of a weather station from like 20 years ago. There's nothing in there, the guts aren't in there, but I used to use it as a junction box for my Christmas lights. Alright, so this is another empty container, which I didn't realize I still had until after I bought the other containers. So we have two big containers. Tell me there's an air conditioner in this box. No, it's an empty air conditioner box. Okay. This air conditioning box goes to the air conditioner in my daughter's room, I think. Yeah, likely. Okay, so I just had an idea or a thought. I think what I'm gonna do, I keep walking around all the way here. I have this stigma about walking in front of the camera with my back to you. My dad used to have a, not a, like a camcorder, but when they had the, like the smaller, not the cassette, but like whatever the smaller one was, short of the VHS, not Betamax or whatever. It came after that, after they shrunk down the camcorders. Anyway, I just always felt like hearing like, don't walk in front of the camera, you know. So it's like I'm like, I know sometimes when I'm working on stuff in other videos and I have to put my back to you because my hands are tied or whatever, and I can hear them in my head. Don't put your back to the camera. You're blocking everything. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is what I was thinking about is I have these empty plastic containers, storage containers, like these. I have 3 of them. I think maybe I even have 4. I'm gonna throw them all in this gray container. Consolidate. And yes, I'm keeping the false graph box. I feel like it's earned a right to hang around. Oh shoot! Anyone ever need incandescent minis, replacement bulbs? I have a cigar box. Again, we don't condone the smoking. Full, and I even I had one of those vintage kind of stars. I had to part out, and I kept the little like illumination things for them, and I have some spares of these. So this is when I have to relamp incandescents. I come to this, and I've had this. I actually painted this when I was a kid. I painted it with these funny colors and everything, and then I was like, oh, I need a place for my my incandescents minis, and that's that. All right. Might have one more. Might have 2 more. This is great. I'm able to consolidate. Oh man, keyboard. I have this shelf pretty organized. It's not bad. It's just like when you start running out of places to put all this other stuff. I have a box of like, this box is like webcams, computer speakers, mice, and I did get, okay, so that one has office supplies in it. So I did get rid of some of the stuff for the computer box. Like I had like quadruple, because I had so many locations. I had the condo location, I had the main location, I had the Midwest location, and then my friend's location. Like, so I had stuff everywhere, and at work the stuff was like falling off the, falling off of trees, because like it's so quick in an office to replace stuff, and it's just like I'd always grab stuff at work. Or if somebody left and I was the boss, so I could do this. Somebody left and IT was like, we don't want any of this stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going to take it. All right, so this is an empty container with empty containers. All right. I have this air purifier here, which has to go to the project pile because I think we got to replace the motor on it. Project pile that we overflowed badly again. I just acquired 3 3733s that were like left, so I'm gonna clean them up and find them good homes. So that's on there. I got it's the project pile. Just that it keeps. It's like I get it down and it comes back up. I never get ahead. It's just like we keep going back and forth with it. Okay, so I have another one of those air purifiers. Okay, these are sandbags that go with the cornhole, which is over there. Oh, no way! Aha! I have been looking. What's this? Oh. incandescents. I have been, what the heck, there's a key in there. I have been looking for this. I knew I had one. This is for McGraw Edison, and the thrust washer is here on the list. Yeah, both of them are here. They're both on the one side. Aha. So guys, the thin and light, if you know what I'm even talking about, the thin and light box fan that had an issue, the rotor. I was looking for another one of these, and in fact, Eddie might. This is awesome. Let me put this on the. They put this on the bench. Sweet. All right. Now here, okay, I just had to throw those incandescents down. So these are like what you like replace for a nightlight. So I'll throw those in my bulb box. And this is trash. This all came from the Midwest location. There's like a spare key. I don't even know what this is. I guess I'll bring it upstairs. But this is another one of those air purifiers that needs a motor. I thought I had 3. I thought I had 3 of them. I just don't know where the third one is. Third one might be at my friend's location, and that one got trapped. They all have the same problem. The motor died on them. So what I noticed about when I plug the charger in while we're recording, the battery doesn't seem to go down anymore, but it doesn't charge. It just seems to hold steady, which is fine. Oh, I need this because I gotta. Speaking of eBay, I'm also selling some books, and these are great for the books. Yeah, so if anyone knows about the situation with the charging, the spring, when I replace the battery, not battery, the filter, I buy 2 at a time. So I obviously bought 2 last year. This is trash. Not quite sure what that goes to. I know what that goes to. Don't know what that goes to. Oh, these are tablecloths. So when I got the table off a marketplace, and the woman gave me like some tablecloths that were cleaned, which was nice of her, but tablecloths. This junction box thing. I was going to put that in the container of empty containers, but I'll just leave it there. So I got my light bulbs, I got my extension cords. The paint's going on the bottom shelf. I do think, let's just get it. I think for entertainment purposes, so here's a stock blade to an Air King, I believe. It might actually go, this one might, yeah, that was when I did the swap. So that's a Air King set. We'll put that in the fan area. Oh, a little hand pump. I don't know where to put that. I guess I'll leave it up here. And then I think this one is another unmolested set screws on there. This is new, never been used. When I did the first conversion, it took weeks for the blades to get here. So when I was doing the second conversion, I used to have 2 converted. I ended up selling the one, but when I did the second conversion, I ordered 2 blades because I was like, the lead time's so long. But so now I have one that has the HB blades and one that doesn't. I'm just going to leave it like that. It is so nice to be getting somewhere down here. Okay, so I think like birthday decorations, while my supply is light, we will keep that here on this shelf. So hopefully when somebody has a birthday, we can decorate. And then in here, these are kind of like gift bags. You know, I thought, a big bag of bags. It might still be upstairs. Of you know how like you get like your Christmas gifts and bags and whatnot. Well, I kind of had a collection of them just to, so when I go to wrap things, I was kind of good to go. What's this? Stability ball. Okay. There's a stability ball blown up. Ah, that's what that pump goes to. Mm-hmm. Right, that's trash. We'll put the pump and the stability ball together. Oh, okay. The third air purifier is actually already here. The one from upstairs is on the pallet, project pallet, and then the 2 from over here were from other locations that they all have the exact same problem. Motors failed on them. Okay, so this bottom shelf down here, I like to use for paint. Okay, so this is, I don't know what's in this box. Oh, I know what this is. These need to get sold. These are, I needed replacement bags for the bagger on the riding mower. And I thought I ordered the right ones, but I did not. So maybe we'll list those tomorrow. I just got done telling you about a story on eBay and like, oh, let's list this, let's list that. I don't know if I'm even in your frame. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, we're holding on the battery. Alright, so this is the box to the little heater that I use by my feet while I'm working. There's some spare tiles here. Kind of kept this over there. So a long time ago, I used to keep paint in the garage, and kind of learned that was a no-no because of the temperatures, and I ruined paint that way. So I now keep it in the basement. Oh, I started doing that at the old location, keeping paint in the basement. So that's what we'll do here. And I got some paints for upstairs. Get some paint for down here. We got this Rust-Oleum that we were using. A fresh one. box to contend with. Yeah, the one thing I really like about this basement is whoever built this shelf. Put some spackle down here. Some more. What is in here? Here, a painter spray. A gift bag. Painter's tape. More painter's tape. This stir. Oh, one of those little things to open the paint can. More trash. So probably what I'll do is each week I go to the dump or the transfer station. I will bring cardboard with me. It all gets recycled, so I'm not. That's why I wasn't really worried about it, because I pay to get rid of this. You know, pay to basically a sticker for your car. And, just go. So it's just a matter of loading the stuff in the car. All right, so you got this stuff here. Got some spray paint. Oh, I see leftover. I see leftover spray paint from when I. If you've been following the channel long enough, I did a very entertaining, as I'm being sarcastic, video of the condo location had a wire like mesh patio set, and a renter the previous summer was complaining that it was too rusty, and it really wasn't rusty. So there's something to do. Even at the condo location, I could shoot some videos there, and that's kind of the birth of this channel happened there. You know, I would shoot some videos, but I didn't have access to everything that I have here. And everything was packed away in storage. So I did videos of me painting those that patio set, and they were very happy with how it came down. I don't know what this is. Not bend. I don't even know what this is. Like this, I know what it is. It's actually a set of lawnmower handles. I wonder if we... Please do not bend. Where'd it come from? St. Charles, Missouri. It's definitely an eBay. I feel like it's a lawnmower accessory. Fragile. So we're gonna do an unboxing of this, maybe in another video. So we'll just put that over. Put that over here. Yeah, I just assumed that was a lawnmower part, because it was that box was always with everything else. All right, so this is a computer box. Okay, so we can get a little organized here with my empty beverages. I keep walking around this way because I had the wire from the chargers coming out the other side. How are we doing here? Maybe turn it a little bit, right? So you can kind of see what I'm doing. This basement was so nasty. It was so dusty, and it was so like somebody else's basement. But over here is the floor didn't really, like, after Eddie and I last Father's Day, Father's Day, happy Father's Day, we cleaned this, and I talked about it, I think, earlier in this video. This is all computer stuff, chargers. It's fine. And but the floors really stayed clean over here. It didn't get dusty again. This is, I think, extra pens and things like that. Yep. That's good. I have pencils. I should... Jordan, if you're watching and you want pencils, say something, because I have lots of pencils. Unused pencils. I know you use pencils. I do not. I have a pencil sharpener, mechanical plug-in pencil sharpener. It's a mouse. So here's a whole nother computer setup that I had at a friend's location. Speakers, wired mouse, wired keyboard, a keyboard that I really like. Monitor, which I set up upstairs because now I have dual monitors now that I got the bigger desk thanks to Eddie. And so that's computer stuff, office supply stuff. Yeah, we're cooking. We're doing a great job. Wait, I got this other wired keyboard. I have no use for this one. I just hate to cancel these things out. Do you think somebody, if I put this on Marketplace for 90, I don't know, $1? Like the problem is I have so much of this stuff. And it doesn't break. Like the keyboard I use, I was just telling Jordan this, keyboard I use upstairs is a white keyboard. It has a serial output, or input, whatever you want to say, since, I've been using it since 2002. And then in that one box, one of those boxes, I have another one from my previous job that I really, really like. It's a wired one. No, actually it was two jobs ago. So I've had it since 2010. And when I left, I asked, I was like, can I take my keyboard? They're like, sure. And so I did. And that was kind of the other location as a backup. Speaking of that job, this is a case, an old case. That junction box was from that job too. This, I used to put my, when Eddie and I would go on vacation, we would take our, sometimes take our PlayStation. I would use that for my PlayStation. Okay, the bowling ball. Bowling ball can go over here. My personal stuff. And then this goes with the bagger to the riding lawnmower. Little hand trucks. This is from one job I had when I go to trade shows and things. It'd be handy, like regional shows where you just had to like park your car in a parking garage and it was just you to take your little setup in. All the reps, we make sure all the reps had one of those. Okay, this goes to the bagger. I don't remember where I got this trash hose. This must have been here. Again, I think about what this basement looked like. Not even just the walls, because you saw what the walls look like, but more so the just how dusty and musty it was down here. Again, I'm very grateful the installation's in really good condition, and I just got to get the wall over there painted and the wall behind you painted, which is not a big deal. And then the walls are done, and you know, the floors, whatever, you know, like not bad, just green is where it's chipped up and stuff, fine, but it's clean. And a couple more shelves, get the cardboard out of here, and we're really good to go. All right, it's air conditioner box. I'm tempted to cancel it. I might get, no, I won't cancel it. Because I just think about it. If it was a fan box, I would get canceled if I would never cancel that fan box. So we can just put this over here. All right. Cooler, kind of a seasonal item, especially a cooler this size. Put it right here. Yeah. these are containers. These are for the dog. She would make his food and use these to freeze and put his food in the refrigerator. They're all clean, so I'll just stick them there. She didn't want to toss them quite yet. She didn't know what to really do. I understand because the dog just recently passed, and you know, you don't want to make those kinds of decisions. Okay, so the bean bag. Speaking of, his dog bed is right here. Then he has some of his stuff over here, like his food bowl. Oh, one of these cones for his head. Put these items here. Dog bowl. So these folding chairs. You know, I was kind of using like under the steps as like a catch, not a catch-all, but just like for something. So my mom's husband gave my daughter these, like, I think they're I don't know, some kind of skis over Christmas break. We walk out of there with so much stuff. Is that dried? Yes, it's dried. So we got these, she has these skis. I'll just take them, you know, if you're not using them, we'll marketplace them. You know, and I know it inevitably what it is, like, oh yeah, you should take them, they fit you perfectly. It's because they don't use them. And here's the boots or whatever. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I'm not really a winter sport guy. All right, so we have so it's kind of over here. Oh, this is nice. It's cleaned up nicely over here. I'm wondering if I should just leave. These are the cornhole boards. Let's just leave them in here. I can actually effectively get under here and use this space. No, I won't be like Jordan and build a cordless phone shelf under my stairs, but nonetheless, I have some really good space to use. Maybe I can show you what I'm doing. Battery's holding. All right, let me Alright, so just brought you around to the other side of the stairs. So it's funny, I thought these chairs were at the other location. These are steel folding chairs, but the nicer ones with the pad on it. My mom gave those to me, and she gave a set to both my sisters, kind of as like a gift when we got our first places. And they come in handy when you have company, that's for sure. And I know at the other location we used them quite a bit. Let's see, eBay's messaging me. So I'm on the fence about selling one of my Daytons, and I have it up there on eBay. Yes, I'm the guy who's listing it for like $1 million because it took me so long to find those fans. Now I got 3 of them, and it's kind of like, okay, I don't really need all 3, and there's been people out there, so I don't know what it's worth. So I have it out there for $1 million. I don't know. I think I'm going to cancel these out. These cushions. Do I do that? The thing is, I have those 2 chairs. Oh, I don't know what to do. I won't cancel them now. I'll keep them. So I have like I said, the 2 chairs and the back deck. And it's like, the deck, it desperately needs to be power washed. And it's not a place you really sit. Maybe if you're working on a project and you're going to take 5 and sit, you would. We'll see. Alright, so here's the bean bags for the... This stuff down here is extra flooring. There's a ton of it, and that's great should something go wrong. Alright, I don't know what's in here. Tablecloth or something. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna donate it because, like, it's one of those things. It's like I've been here for a year now, and it's not. If I haven't been like, oh, where is XYZ? Can't wait to find it, you know, that's one thing. But the other thing is, like, you've gone a whole year and you're like, oh, I didn't even use it, whatever this thing is, and I don't know if I'm going to. So let's just keep it for keeping it. No, let's not. Alright, well, now we're over here with this hose. Actually, no, yeah, this hose I did inherit from here, and I did use it to the front lawn. That's what this is. This is a crappy hose, but it works. Well, I guess I can put it on top of all this stuff for now. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, you kind of can. I don't know where you put you, because we're kind of going in circles now. I think we got to go. You're tethered, so. All right, so we got this pile here. So you were over there next to the boxes, which you couldn't see. Those are screens for the sunroom, and you can see that wall that needs to be painted. If it didn't say lacrosse on there, be tempted to leave it, although there's a random green patch over there. Like, I don't know what they did. It's like they painted, I think they painted everything green at one point, including the floor. Then they painted the walls the peach color, and then someone painted walls yellow, because that was yellow and the fan area was yellow. You know, again, if it was all except yellow, if it was all that peach color and it wasn't like stuff on the wall, I probably would have left it, right? But it's fine. Okay, so we're going in circles now. Now I have a sense for all right, where do we want to put that? We have those 2 empty plastic bins. This is actually hardwood flooring. This was in the garage. This is actually indoor-outdoor carpet that's in the sunroom. I gave one to the ex because she goes camping with the kids, and she asked if she could have one to use for like their campsite. So I said, sure. I'm such a nice ex-husband, and that was that. Now, actually, I say that jokingly. Like I don't mind. We don't mind helping each other out. All right, so I think. So happy. That shelf over here is like there's empty space on it, which is awesome. Like, that's the goal. Okay. See, at some point I gotta get the boiler serviced in the spring. I usually do it around June or something like that. So it will be nice that we can access everything. Just gonna probably put these empty containers here for now. can't believe I have these monster empty bins. Oh, I just thought of something. I could use this other big bin for all those extra like sheets. Let's do that. This carpet, I almost feel like this carpet is too nice to use down here. I have to ask. I do think it came from. Almost use that in the sunroom actually, like over in the center of the room. I have to ask, because I know it kind of insulates from the floor. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm going to use this big guy here for all those drop cloths and sheets until I actually need it for something else. Yeah. Hold your horses. I'm going to go say hello. Okay. No one is here. But it's like 20 to 5. I've been down here for a while. And I was down here before we were on this video. Because like I said, I touched up the paint. Let's keep this remnant curtain because none of those hooks are in it. And then, like I said, I was down here. I shot 2 videos before that on fans. Not all of these are drop cloths. Some of these are just like used for covering stuff up. But I will definitely stop soon because I like to go for a walk every evening. It's kind of like, I know I exercise in the morning all that, but I go for a mile walk most evenings. Yesterday I did not. Actually, I went to the mall and walked. I do. I know a route. We have a small mall here, but I know the route to walk a mile. I know it's ridiculous, but like an old person. So there's that. Oh, this is awesome. Super duper happy about how this is going. Okay, so this shelf really needs, kind of need to put it with the rest of the shelf. If I can get it back here, just so it has a place for the front feet. Walls over here, I can see yellow paint galore. I'm not about to pull all the shelves out. Okay, so I'm gonna just stick this shelf piece over here by the rest of it. Leaves me with this chair. So we just fall over. No. Okay. We'll put this chair here, I suppose. I think we're getting close to being done for the day. This is the box to the eBay scammer fan. I almost want to just can't. It smells so bad. It smells like. I don't want to sound improper or rude, but it smells like curry, like just like someone spilled curry all over it or something. It's disgusting. This is a trash bag's full. That one's a donation bag. Alright, so I think I'm about to call it. So really all we need to do is to get a shelf for these items. And then we're done. Oh, I have photo albums. They actually go upstairs. And I don't know if you're with me to see what I'm looking at. Probably not. So let's do this stupid. This I'm gonna have to cancel. Wait a ton. I gotta cancel out at some point. So, okay, so more packing and stuff. These go to that shelf. So just put that over there. Okay. What's in here? Pictures. Whoa, pictures. Holy pictures. Okay, wedding pictures. Well, there's some other pictures that are not wedding pictures in there. That's cool. I mean, the wedding picture. And I won't be displaying those. This is cassette tapes, and it's just more miscellaneous stuff. Okay, I need to go through those things. More relics and pictures. So I think a lot of this stuff is going to go upstairs in the living room because I have those shelves area up there. So that's really good. And then this one again, the photo albums. Those definitely can go upstairs. I don't want this to stay in the basement. Okay. Maybe we don't need a shelf. Maybe we need shelves for fan stuff projects, but wow, okay. So that's it. Consider this done. I won't drag in the rest of this. We just have to, I just have to discard much of that. I'll keep a few boxes and then that little pile on the floor. Next kind of project is I just have to organize the shelves around the fireplace. There's not much on them, just some loose books and some like kind of coffee table magazines. And my photo albums can go in the cabinets up there. And those cigar boxes there are like loose photos. And so that a lot of that can get put away there, which it makes me think, because I have room on that shelf, even though I like to keep that as a supply shelf, put my motorcycle helmet and perhaps my bowling ball. And we'll get a pallet. We'll get a pallet for that stuff. We'll get a pallet for this stuff here. And then I have to figure out those kitchen chairs. If I'm going to see if she wants the table at that other location. If she doesn't want the table, I'm going to set it up over here when the cardboard's gone, just as like another little workspace, a backup spot, right? And then over here, what we have going on is the project palette kind of got out of control really quickly. You can see the water over there. I'm gonna shop vac before I go upstairs. Dehumidifier is going. That's one of those portable air conditioners. I got to just service that, and that's it. We just gotta paint the walls on the other side, and this is done. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. And thanks for helping me figure out the GoPro. We'll see you on the next one.